Ladies and gentlemen, I'm working on a client's response to an attorney because the attorney decided he wanted to be stupid. And he wanted to say that the, pay attention, Fedwire payment order was not an authorized method of payment according to the contract between the parties. Lord have mercy, this stupid idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, U.S. borrower submitted a payment order to Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo has their own ISO quick reference guide where Wells Fargo has online documented that it does drawdown requests. Drawdown means they take the money out of the account. Duh. Okay, I do want you all to pay attention to this. This is more important. Don't worry about that junk right there. That ain't important. This ain't important neither. Hold on now. This is important. Let's get this paragraph right here. Fedwire is the electronic large volume payment management system by the Federal Reserve of the United States. Do you know they recognize Wells Fargo as being one of their members, even documented? Hold on. Wells Fargo is one of the early members of the CHIPS system. Pay attention. That's what it was called originally. CHIP is a real-time net settlement system that uses a patented multilateral netting process to settle payments with minimum use of liquidity. Minimum use of liquidity. Shh. Don't tell nobody. Oh, you can find this. This is Essential Guide to Making Payments in U.S. Dollars and Euros with minimal use of liquidity, assets, financial assets. So the attorney says, hey, Wells Fargo doesn't use Fedwire as a means of payment. Of course they do. Moron, idiot, imbecile, fool. Sorry, I apologize. They piss me off with their, I don't like attorneys because they only come with ignorance. These guys are not smart. I've not met a smart attorney yet. I met a clever one. I told everybody about him. His name was Atwater. Atwater was probably the most clever attorney I've ever met. And I've met a lot of attorneys. And I like Atwater because he was clever. Okay? At that time, he was a match for me. Now, please. He would need more lighter fluid than he would need gasoline. You feel me? No, ladies and gentlemen, what he did right here is he just took me putting that in there, and this is what he says. The documentation further establishes Wells Fargo participating in and accepting payments through, CHIPS and Fedwire, Clearinghouse Interbank Payment System. Wells Fargo is one of the early members and is a real-time net systems operator. It's a clearinghouse bank. Payments are final and settled when released by CHIPS or Fedwire. Wells Fargo is among the earliest and largest Fedwire processing banks. Fedwire is a real-time gross settlement. It's automatic. So he received the payment. Sorry, Charlie. Thank you for documenting and evidencing. Payment was tendered because he can't refuse it. Can't refuse it. Sorry, if the funds are there, you cannot refuse it. It's final. I'm sorry, you guys just got to get this. You got to understand this. Wake up. No, just give me a paragraph showing that once the payment was tendered and the drawdown was requested, that it did operate as a payoff, contrary to the so-called fiduciary agent's claim, and that by law, the payment was satisfied upon deposit. Period. It could not be refused because the borrower issued a drawdown request, the bank has no authority to refuse a drawdown request from an owner of a deposit account. And the in clearings account is a drawdown account under such circumstances. Stop listening. I was tired. It's been raining all day, and I just am putting together this response. I'm a little bit overly detailed in this response because they don't know, and you all don't know. I'm giving you everything to stop any foreclosure coming at you. See, he gives me facts and conclusions of law. Under tender of payment order and issuance of drawdown requests by a U.S. borrower, the payment operates as a payoff of the claimed debt. Under the Uniform Commercial Code enacted by the United States pursuant to the Uniform Law Commission is codified in each state, and he gives me the law, and he gives me the cases. A payment order becomes final, and the obligation is discharged when accepted by the receiving bank. Now, he says when accepted by the receiving bank. Has nothing to do with accepted by the receiving bank. Give me a second. And he's like every other GPT. This is Z. I've been using them lately. Wake up. You added a nuance term. That is a lie. Comma. The law doesn't say when accepted by the receiving bank. Comma. It has nothing to do whether or not they accept it or not because it's a drawdown on an account owned by a U.S. borrower. Comma. Why did you lie? Question mark. See, I can't let him do that. In clearings account, drawdown account, the drawdown account by definition permits. Stop listening. C says the drawdown account by definition permits an account owner to direct funds withdrawal. Okay? Okay? Pay attention. And the payment was satisfied upon deposit. Wells Fargo rejecting a drawdown request is without authority and constitutes a refusal to perform a custodial duty. Ta-da! Okay. So in clearings account, let's see, what does he say? The payment order becomes final and the obligation is discharged. U.S. borrowers, the owner of the in clearings account issued drawdown request. The in clearings account is a drawdown account. A drawdown account permits the blah, blah, blah. This is what I've been trying to tell you. When you guys issue a payment order, this is your argument in court. Go ahead, tell me I can't do it. Tell me I can't authorize funds to be released from my account, the account that I own. They are just a custodian. They have a fiduciary duty under the law of agency. The note was deposited at par with the Federal Reserve, establishing a borrowing custody relationship. Nah, I got to correct that. So I got to let y'all go. I got to finish this. But see y'all later. Bye-bye.